Hello everyone, this is Julia from Craft Room Adventures. Welcome back to my channel. This time I have a fall scene for you using the adorable fall buddy stamp set by Hello Bluebird. I'm starting to color in my images. I stamped them on Bristol smooth cardstock using Versafine Onyx black ink, and I die cut them using my brother's Scan and Cut. Here I'm using some orange to color in my pumpkin. And I'm also using crocodile green for the stem. I'm just doing a second layer here to deepen up the color. Also, I have to apologize because I only realized during editing that some of my coloring, or most of my coloring, is only partially in frame. I sometimes still forget that I have to pay attention to those things because filming is still pretty new to me. I promise I will pay more attention in the future. If that bothers you, you can just skip ahead to 8 minutes and 37 seconds, but I did decide to leave in the footage because you can still quite a bit of coloring and all of the colors I used. Now I'm just coloring in the leaves, and for those I'm using Arteza markers in 175, 116, 124, 169, 126, and 128. I'm just coloring in mostly like a half of a leaf, then adding a second color to give them the look of fall leaves and just giving in a little bit more interest than just coloring them in with one color, at least I find. And I'm using the same color for the pile of leaves and of course for the individual leaves as well. On a previous card, I added them to some post-it tape to make the tiny images more manageable, but I really find it wasn't that necessary. They weren't difficult to color, so I just held them down with my finger and colored them in like this. Like before, I'm just adding 2 shades of my colors, and unfortunately out of frame I'm blending them with my water brush. You can see them going in and out of frame. Oh, here I go back into frame. Adding some more colors and then blending them out with my water brush. Again, unfortunately out of frame. I'm coloring in my first little critter. I'm using the color 60, which is brown from the Zig Clean Color Real Brush markers, to shade him in. There he picks up his head. So annoying. I use the 175 Pale Peach to color in the lighter parts of his body. And for the scarf on all of my images, I'm using tomato red from the Arteza markers. There I am, back in frame. Again, using the color 60 of my Arteza markers. Zig markers. Coloring him in just like I did the previous critter. For my bunny, I'm using oatmeal, which is number 64 of the Zig markers. And I'm also using a little bit of 201, which is pink haze, to give them some pink cheeks and for the pinks of the ears. For him, I'm using 64 as well, also oatmeal, because I did want to keep him pretty light. Now I'm just deepening the color on my deer, using oatmeal again, number 64. Doing the same thing for my bunny. I'm using Pale Peach 175 on the Arteza markers for all the lighter parts. And then I really wanted to darken up the shadows, so I'm using Natural Gray from Zig and just blending that out a bit to create more depth. Here I'm using the tomato red again to color in the scarf. Just adding some pink cheeks with number 201 Pink Haze from the Zig markers. And also deepening up the red with the tomato red marker from Arteza. Now I'm ink blending the background using Tumbled glass distress ink and a DIY cloud stencil. I didn't have a cloud stencil and I really liked the look of it, so I just decided to get some stencil material and use my Hello Bluebird Grassy Knoll die to make my own, and that works out really, really well. Now I'm just alternating the different shapes of the stencil, ink blending them lightly with Tumbled glass and also ink blending a bit on the bottom so it's not so stark white. I die cut the Hello Bluebird spooky scene to create my forest, and this is the hill from it, and I'm ink blending that with Shabby Shutter's Distress ink. I'm just going back and forth until I'm happy with it. The trees of the spooky scene I'm ink blending with Frayed Burlap Distress ink. Now it's time to start assembling my scene, I'm adhering the background to an A2 sized card base using a tape runner, just pressing that down. Now I'm adhering the frame of the spooky scene using liquid glue, and that way I can just fit in the other images of the scene and they just fit perfectly together. I'm also adding some liquid glue to the back of the hill, placing them down as well. I'm sorry, this is also sort of out of frame. I must have had my camera settings completely wrong this time. Now adding my second tree. Using an acrylic block to just give it some weight so it dries down flat. Now I'm choosing my sentiment, which will be the autumn blessings from the Fall Buddy stamp set. Just using an acrylic block and the Versafine Clair ink in Pinecone and stamping that down. And now it's time to assemble my scene. Just removing the backing sheets of the foam squares I had already placed on the back. I'm putting my bunny on the left, the deer mostly in the center because it's the largest, then my pile of leaves for the adorable squirrel to jump into, and I've placed it on top of almost the height of the lowest branch so that it looks like he just jumped down from there. Now I'm adding some of the leaves to the scene. I didn't know how many I needed, so I just added the foam tape one at a time because I didn't want to waste any. I'm just adding them wherever I think they would fit well. Also adding some, or at least one falling leaf. I wanted to see if I did like one or two of the pumpkins, and I did decide to adhere the smaller one behind the bunny. And there we go, that finishes up my card for today. I really like this one. I hope you do too. Thank you so much for watching. I would love it if you would consider subscribing to my channel for more videos. Have a wonderful day. Bye!